Hey, basically this is a follow-up video to the Timescroll I made yesterday for this save, Ben Allen, which contains all of my fast times set across various different modes. I basically have these two saves, Colonel and Mercury, just to keep different playing styles that I have on this cartridge. Basically Colonel is playing to rules made up by Tom, aka UHD, a few years ago, which he called Pure Racing, which was basically JV usage but without Windwalker bumps, Grand Prix or fast lap running. So I'll go through these rankings now. They're pretty uninteresting. I haven't played most tracks to their potential. Some more than others, like P1 for instance, but then other tracks I haven't at all. I'll just comment where necessary. I think this is one of the more interesting tracks. Managed a sub 2 minute here without a bump. But then of course there's tracks like PF, which I never play. And then of course playing like this, there's some tracks that are completely superfluous, such as K2. It's a good time there on B1 and on B2. They're just tracks that suit themselves really well to non-bump running. Bishop 3, I had an idea. I haven't done it yet, but I have an idea to make this Grand Prix save, so all my fastest Grand Prix times in this track. I've managed to get near sub 129 in this track. I can do sub 130 quite consistently now, so maybe one day I'll try and record a run there. And then of course championship is superfluous. Mercury, this is a much more interesting save. Basically this is all my fast times set without Jet Vermilion, but also without bump. I know some of the Japanese records that don't use Jet Vermilion use bumps on lap 1, and basically I don't. I'm trying to keep it as pure as possible. Fast laps are also one boost, but again can be kind of altered a bit by boost strategy and stuff, so some of them aren't very accurate. Yeah, these are the rankings that I added on the end of my other video, but I'll go through the rest now. There's definitely some strong records here, like obviously some tracks I haven't played to their fullest yet, but for the most part, I mean stuff like this, nearly sub 2 minute with Stingray. And it's also interesting because some tracks become really enjoyable, like PF for instance. I really enjoy playing with Fighting Comet. It's mid 154 there. You know, it's not an amazing time, but you do get a certain satisfaction with playing with different machines. Again, K1, 152.68 Windwalker. I managed to get a really good drift strat there. I don't know if I could recreate that, perhaps. K2, Sly Joker is the fastest machine here. I was fairly certain that Fighting Comet could beat it, but it really can't. Um, 144.78 with Stingray. This doesn't actually beat my PR. That's like a 144.6 back in 2004. We had a Haven challenge on the old F-Zero Haven forum. Which actually follows on here to Bishop 1. 144.79 doesn't beat my Stingray record from 2004. That's a 144.76. So, you know, there's still some work to be done on these times. I think Bishop Final was one of the more interesting tracks for this. There's a lot of different machines I tested here that all roughly could get a low 148, as you can see, but in the end Stingray turned out to be fastest. Although for a while I did think Fireball could be. Queen 1, probably the track I've played the most, purely because I wanted to beat Derek Kisman's record. For those who don't know, Derek Kisman, aka Snapdragon, he's one of the best puzzle setters and puzzle players in the world. You know, he's represented Canada in world championships and stuff. And basically, if he was on any gaming site in the late 90s or early 2000s, he would have been there with some strong records. And I think here he had like a 126.2, which is insane. And I really wanted to go out of my way to beat it, and thankfully I did. I think a sub is doable here, but very, very difficult. And then finally championship. For a long time I actually tried with Silver Thunder. You can see here I've got 126.76 with Fighting Comet, which isn't a bad time. It doesn't beat Faust's from 2001. I think my best lap is near his, but he destroys me on openers. I don't know how to match him. But yeah, for a long time I was actually trying with Silver Thunder. Managed a 128.45, pretty decent, you know. It's just that perfect kind of circuit for, you know, rigid handling, hitting, you know, strong start and stuff. So yeah, those are my bonus rankings. Hopefully one day I can make some more videos playing in those styles, because it's a lot of fun. You know, it's a good way to escape from playing the regular all-out JV style. And in case you're wondering, Colonel and Mercury are names of Japanese Mario Kart DS players. I think I've got a sick fetish there. So, yeah, that's all.